Hey guys, we have a dead headlight in the G-wagon, which is pretty good timing since JDM ASTAR sent me these H4 bulbs, these LED H4 bulbs, to replace them. They also come with an LED intelligent decoder. These don't come with them. You have to order these separately. Whether your car needs them, it's possible they will. This car does because of the CAN bus system. So this just like plugs in one end, plugs in the other end of your wiring harness. And this is an H4 bulb for the G-wagon. This is what a typical H4 bulb would look like. And this is what an H4 LED looks like. It's got the same shaped fingers on it for when you mount it. And these bulbs rotate to get the best light pattern. The base rotates, which I can't do with one hand. I can kind of. But anyway, this little hooded part, if you see that there, see the two little hood fingers? That should face up. So I'll have to check that orientation once we hook it up. And anyway, it's JDM ASTAR is the company that sent these. I'll have a link in the description on where to find their stuff. And I've used their stuff before. It's actually really, really good. And they are bright as snot. So anyway, first thing we have to do is on this G-wagon, because it came with the factory bulb bar, we have to rotate that bulb bar down, and then we will be replacing the headlight. This isn't a headlight on cars today. This is like back in the 70s. This is how headlights were done. So give me a second. I got to get the G-wagon's toolkit in order to lower the bulb bar. It has a special tool for doing that. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so you haven't seen one before. This is a G-wagon toolkit. It comes with all your wrenches, screwdrivers. They're all like, I'm not sure if they're powder coated or not, but they're black. You've got box wrenches. And over here, this, come on out of there, is the tool for removing the front brush guard. I'm going to pop the hood and be back in 1 sec. I don't need the hood on the G-wagon open to change the lights. I just want places to set the camera when I'm on the tripod when I'm doing this. So you get this little tool like this, and it's got little fingers in it. And in the back, right, I'll point to it with my finger, right there, there's a little round, you see that thing? You stick this in, hold on a second, let me switch hands. Rotate it till it grabs in, the little teeth grab in, and then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and it should unlock. It'll get really loose when it unlocks. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Let's go the other way. That should be tightening. No, that's tightening. That's definitely tightening. It's only like a little single pin down there. But even with my little marmoset hands, it's hard to get under there. Okay, let's turn it half a turn. There, that's loose. Just didn't turn it all the way last time. I'm going to do the other one. I'll show you from this angle. There we go. It's loosened. Let's put the tool aside. Pull this little locking pin out. Set it there. And then rotate the bar down. And now we are going to take a Phillips screwdriver. We'll just grab the one out of the kit. And right here, there's 2 Phillips screws. Loosen them, don't pull them off. Loosen them about 2-3 turns, and then I'll show you in a second. Okay, so those 2 screws are loosened. Now I'm going to lift up gently. Oh, I might not have loosened quite enough. 1 second. Now here you'll see the 2 feet that go down behind those 2 screws you just loosened, and on top there are 2 brackets that slide into these slots up here. And then you just have to leave it dangling because your windshield washer is left attached to the headlight frame. Now, there's going to be, I wonder what this is. Must be a GPS thingy. 3 screws here, little Philip, let's pull this off, pull the little seal off. Remember, big side to the back, the thicker wall of it to the back. 3 little Phillips screws, 1, where's the second one? 2, and 3. Those Phillips screws. Not these ones, these are your headlight adjusters. So we'll pull those 3 Phillips screws out and we'll be back in 1 sec. Please excuse my swatting motions and my noises because there's so many damn mosquitoes this year since global warming has caused it to be so cold and damp that the mosquitoes are everywhere. But whatever. So then we just pull the headlight out. This is the attachment for your daytime running light, and then underneath here is your headlight bulb. There's a rubber around that, and it's simply, there's 2 clips right here. One at a time, push down on them and move them to the outside. It's going to be hard for me to do that with one hand. You take the clip, push down, and pull it toward you. And now the other side, push down and push it away from you. See the 2 little fingers they're held on with? And they're kind of hard to do with one hand. So I'm going to unhook that and be back in a second. But we're also, while we're under here, I'm going to have to find a place to mount this modulator for the headlight. Anyway, while I pull that out, I'm going to look for a spot and we'll be back in a minute. Oh, and while we're in here, your daytime running light, it simply turns toward you about 1/4 of a turn. Should. It's probably been in there a long time. And pull straight out, and there's the bulb. I don't know the bulb number of that bulb, but you can find it in your manual. Ah! Damn mosquitoes. Honest to God, I'm getting eaten alive. So we'll find out a mounting spot for that modulator and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Other than 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I have the mounting done. There's 2 bolts there, 2 10mm bolts that hold the water drain for the intake up here on the G-wagon. I mean, your car could be different. This is for an H4 bulb, but this is also for the G-wagon. But every car is going to be different. Anyway, I slid the tab on the side. There's a tab like that. Slid it under the mounting plate, bolted it on, and then used some double-sided mounting tape on the back of it just to make it nice and tight. But I think I found the reason my headlight bulb blew. Some bodged way in the past connector. So now I have to find one. I think a motorcycle headlight connector is about the same, and I should have one of those in the garage. So before I go any further, I have to fix that. So pardon me for a few minute break while I you're not believing me about mosquitoes. I've got the back hatch of the ML open so I can use it to work, and they are just freaking everywhere. Anyway, I've gotten this crappy, I don't have another connector with me. I've gotten it to work for now. I'm going to bodge it up and replace it later on, and we'll continue on with this video. Okay, so we've got that fixed and we've got the lights back working again. Temporary fix, but it's fixed for now. I've got power going through it, that's all that matters. Let's finish this damn video. So we've got the LED bulb, and on this bulb you'll take a look at your headlight and see which way is up. So on this one, the single foot, and then there's 2 feet kind of askew. See there at the bottom, it's like a triangle, but the high end is at the top. That's the top on this bulb, and you want the top, so you want those on this one, you want those 2 little curvy things, the 2 little curvy shoots pushing up. So that's perfect on this one. we're going to install this and clip the clips back on around it, which are going to be a little tougher because this is a little wider. Then we're going to slip the rubber back on, plug it in, screw it back in, and we'll take a look at what it looks like once it's done. Like I said, the modulator, all it does is, or the converter, what's it called again? A decoder, that's it, a decoder. The decoder plugs into your original wiring harness here and then plugs out to your lights there. It just goes in between the two. So we're going to hook everything back up, and I'll show you putting it back in once I've got the bulb in there, and the little feet just go down, spring on, and clip up underneath the little tips there. See the little thingies? These go down and attach under. And they're not easy to do with one hand. So that little ring goes through that little clip. Our bulb back together, popped on, and we're gonna go stick it into back in the socket where it goes. And on the G-wagon, the two top screws are closer to each other than the bottom one. So they make the little triangle, but the furthest distance, well, you can see there's 1, 2 at the top and like 1 at the bottom, so you can't miss it. You won't be able to get it in the holes if you get it wrong. But anyway, the little hood, depending on the type of light you have, if you don't have the LED ones currently, but the little hood is up. Anyway, back in a sec. And so one final step before putting everything back in, make sure everything's working. So my daytime running light, little orange bulb is on, and the LED headlight is blaring at me. So I'll turn the lights off, mount that all, and I'll show you how to put that plastic cover back on the top. It's pretty simple, but I'll show you anyway. So first we're going to put the rubber trim ring in. I should have cleaned it. I got some more shine rubber conditioner, and ready to put this back in. 2 feet go around the screws, like so. Slide behind the screws, and at the same time, you have to get these 2 feet on the top. See that one underneath my thumb, and one on that side. 2 little clips go, 2 little tabs go in those 2 clips at the top at the same time. Just gently work it in, and at the same time, you gotta kind of squirch that sideways for the headlight squirter in at the same time. And this is not a one-hand job, so I will do this. We'll be back in 2 seconds, and we'll compare the 2 lights to each other once I bolt this headlight cover back on. Okay, all back on, and yeah, just a bit of a difference, you think? I can only back up so far into the trunk of my ML. Old school, new school. Old school, oh God, people are gonna hate me coming down the road. I may have to re-aim these headlights afterwards, which is done with the other screws on the light once it's out. But anyway, this bezel, you know, just don't try and measure it up here. It doesn't measure up there. There's a gap. Measure it up with the fender and the top of the fender as you're tightening those 2 Phillips screws on the bottom. Anyway, thank you very much to JDM ASTAR for sending these sweet bulbs to me. I will show you, oh, I'm not leaving one in and one out. That'd be ridiculous to show it at night. I think we can pretty much see what the difference is going to be. But I'll show you what it looks like from the driver's point of view once it gets dark tonight. I'll show that. So anyway, I'm going to swap the other side, same as this side. Thanks for watching.